Hello and welcome back to this channel. My name is Mandy Magnan. I am an actress, writer, producer, director in Toronto, Ontario, as well as a YouTube commentator for pop culture, movie reviews, and everything it ends with us. There has been just a couple of things filed in the court, so I just wanted to let you know this will be a really quick video because there's not that much popping up, but I have a couple of things to say. So if you're ready, I'm ready. Grab your emotional support lip gloss. You are in frame with Mandy Magnan. Tomorrow, October 31st. It's not just Halloween. It's not just Game 6 for the Toronto Blue Jays in Toronto. It's when Jennifer Abel is going to have her reply back to Stephanie motherfucking Jones. Now, there has been some request for extensions in the court. This is the first thing filed in days this week. So that's why I think there's a little calm before the storm. I feel like they are really gearing up to either appeal and or just for their fact summary judgment and or summary on the pleadings. All of this is coming up right now while they end off expert rebuttals. And that's actually the deadline that was posted today. Both were requested. So one was requested in the Lively versus Wayfair case, as well as another was written for the Jennifer Abel and Stephanie Jones. Let's go over both of those. This was the one that was submitted by Elaine Garofalo, and this is in the Jones versus Abel case. Just says that collectively, along with the Wayfair parties, Jennifer Abel and Melissa Nathan, as well as Stephanie motherfucking Jones, they all agreed and came to the court to order an extension for the deadline for completion of expert discovery from December 12th to January 16th. So they're requesting one extra month for expert discovery. Specifically, the parties request the following schedule. November 21st, 2025 would be the deadline to exchange opening expert reports. December 22nd, 2025 would be the deadline to exchange expert rebuttal reports. And now looking into January 16th, 2026, y'all. Okay, in January 16th, deadline to complete depositions of experts. The parties have continued to make adjustments to the expert reports in response to information obtained from discovery and depositions, which closed on October 10th. On September 12th, the court extended the expert discovery deadline by 30 days to be completed by November 14th. And on October 6th, further extended the deadline to be completed by December 12th. Extending the expert deadline as requested herein will not affect any other deadline set by this court, as no further deadlines are currently scheduled in this action. Additionally, the pleadings in this action are not yet closed. The court granted leave for Jennifer Abel to replead her counterclaims by October 31st. So it looks like tomorrow we're going to get it. And we're going to see if it's going to be that late hour of 11:59 like the Wayfarer do. I hope it's before 8 p.m. because I got me a game to go watch. You feel me? But tomorrow, okay? I'm expecting tomorrow Jennifer Abel's counterclaims, okay? These girls better fight like we've been fighting for Wayfarer, all right? Because I can't have Stephanie motherfucking Jones winning, okay? What she did needs to be called out. Okay, how she treated, first of all, Jennifer Abel, number one. How she treated Wayfair. And then how I know now that she's been allegedly acting towards all of her employees as well as her old clients. And let's not even get started on Van Zandt, okay? Because we're going to keep saying it here on this channel. Van Zandt needs to be answered for. You feel me? Because what those girls did, Blake Lively and Stephanie motherfucking Jones, we're not through with you yet. That was some unethical, shady, immoral crap y'all pulled, okay? So they're just saying, tomorrow, you gave it till tomorrow. So October 31st is when Jennifer Abel is supposed to replead her counterclaims, and the Jones party's response is due November 21st. The Jones party's motion to dismiss Wayfair's counterclaims remains pending. So if you remember, Stephanie Jones went over there to the Wayfair versus Lively or Lively versus Wayfair, and she wants out because Jennifer Abel is saying, well, I worked for Stephanie motherfucking Jones. So if I'm being sued and I got to pay something, guess what? So does my employer, because I worked for her. So indemnification. So we'll see, because Jones is trying to get out of that real bad, okay? Real bad, crying, it's not me, it's not me, it's not me. Please, please, please. I had nothing to do with it. Van Zandt, you started this whole mess, Stephanie motherfucking Jones, and I'm not going to forget about it, okay? Dates regarding the proposed joint pretrial order motions for summary judgment and trial for this action will be determined at the post-discovery status conference set for December 9th at 10:30, which is the party's next scheduled appearance before the court. This extension will also not affect any deadlines in the related Lively versus Wayfair Studios action. And this was done respectfully by all of the lawyers. They all want this. And in the same breath, Aline Garofalo also went into the Lively versus Wayfair Studios one and kind of asked for the same thing. We write pursuant to Rule 1D of Your Honor's individual rules to respectfully request that the court extend the deadline for all parties to move continued sealing of documents filed under seal pursuant to Rule 4B of Attachment A to Your Honor's individual rules. Specifically, the Wayfair parties request that the court extend by 1 week through November 5th the deadline for all parties to move for continued sealing of documents identified in the motions to seal by Jones Works LLC and Stephanie Jones and Blake Lively. The Wayfair parties further request that the court maintain under seal the documents in question until the forthcoming motions to seal are decided. This request does not affect the case management plan or scheduling order. The original date for filing the letter motions is October 29th. No previous request for adjournment or extensions of time has been made with respect to this deadline. Counsel for all parties, Jones Works LLC, Stephanie Jones, Blake Lively, Jed Wallace, and Street Relations Inc. have consented to this request. The date of the party's next scheduled appearance before the court is December 9th. So they are all set in court. December 9th is the next time that they will be seeing Judge Lyman, and that is going to be very interesting. And what they're asking to get sealed here and continue sealing is, of course, this whole thing from Blake Lively, all of these attachments that are sealed, they had to write whether or not by the 29th, whether or not they wanted continued sealing or not, as well as for everything that Stephanie Jones put in as well for her motion of sanctions. There's a lot of things in there that I'm sure they want to continue sealing just for a little bit, because it's a lot about the depositions. It's a lot about what was said, and we'll see. I thought for sure maybe Wayfair was going to come out and be like, you can unseal everything. We have nothing to hide. But while they work on their summary judgment, I'm sure, as well as everything else, they're keeping it sealed for now. Both of these motions were granted by Judge Lyman today. So the Aline Garofalo in the Abel case did get the extension of time against Stephanie motherfucking Jones, as well as they were able to continue sealing the documents for now until I believe it was like in November 5th or 6th, November 5th, I think I said. And that's pretty much all that's happening. I think once we get Jennifer Abel's counterclaims tomorrow, I hope they just bring it. I think Judge Lyman gave them a really good roadmap on what he expects to be in there in order for them to retry it. And I'm just really excited to see what they're going to put in there from now. They have the depositions. They have all of the, way more evidence than they did when they first filed. And I just want to see them gloves off and in savage mode. Honestly, let's go. Something I thought that was really interesting in like a side note is the PR that Blake Lively is getting right now. It's just so wrapped up in victimhood. And let's just take a look right now on when you Google Blake Lively's name, because I just find it to be very like gross. Like if you don't have really anything to say about her, or if she's not out there in the spotlight doing anything, then like what was the point? But rehashing these stories over and over and over, I feel is just like a desperate move to either stay in the spotlight or for these publications to stay relevant. with like, you know, hooks and stuff and like the fancy titles, because it's just like at this point it's just so repetitive and it's just so like, okay, who cares? You're telling us the same things every single day. Everything is just like about Taylor Swift and how Blake Lively isn't friends with Taylor Swift anymore and how it's like so bad for her and she's getting worse, and Taylor Swift this and Taylor Swift that, and how they're not friends. And then also a couple days ago, bringing back that guy who jumped the fence at Travis Kelce's house. It's like old news, and it's like, okay, they're not friends anymore. You've been telling us this for months. Get over it. It's just so gross. There's thousands of other celebrities you could be talking about than rehashing this about freaking Taylor Swift and Blake Lively. And speaking about celebrities, and a good celebrity who I saw today make a pretty cool statement was Billie Eilish. She was speaking at the WSJ Magazine's 2025 Innovator Awards, where she actually announced that she will be donating $11.5 million to fight world hunger and climate change. And during her speech, she was in the room also with like Mark Zuckerberg and other billionaires. And she was like, billionaires, why do you have to have $1 billion? And she literally called them out and told them to give away your money, shorties. And I was like, here we go, finally, because in my eyes either, there should never be billionaires. I understand people work hard for their money and they get the money and they're good and they could be millionaires and wealthy and like whatever. But when you're in the billionaire status and you know that there's hundreds of thousands of people right now that are going to be losing benefits to even get food, and there are people who don't have houses, and you have billions of dollars when there's countries in need, people in need, your own people, your brothers and sisters and your neighbors. To me, it just doesn't make sense. It's an absurd amount of wealth, and there's no reason why any singular entity, corporation, or person should ever have billions of dollars. And in my mind, in my head, I think what we should do is the Hunger Games. They want to do Hunger Games for the poverty in movies, so let's do real life Hunger Games for the billionaires. You know, maybe every 3 to 5 years, we put every billionaire's name into a hat and we pull it and entertain us, in my opinion. Okay? Because if you're not continually donating, giving away the money and doing good, and I'm not just talking about a $100,000 donation. A $100,000 donation to a billionaire is like you tipping your waitress $4. Okay? It's nothing. It's pennies. So I'm really talking about change. Billie coming out and saying that she's donating $11.5 million is huge, and then calling out other billionaires. It's about time. It's about time we all start doing the same, honestly, because there's no reason why the world should be where it is right now if we all just open our hearts a little bit and start putting humanity above profits, humanity before insanity, as well as humanity before greed and corporate greed and billionaires and private jets and all of this stuff, when your neighbors can't even afford their groceries. You feel me? So I like to see that, and it's always nice to see celebrities using their platform to really speak about what's happening in the world and call out these greedy SOBs. And if you're looking for a few spooky, scary Halloween movies to watch, just a few that I've seen in the past week, on Prime or Netflix or anything. Number one, Clown in a Cornfield. Okay, first of all, small town, clowns, cornfields. What else can you do? But this movie was actually super epic. Storyline, meh. Acting was pretty good for what the storyline was, but I'm telling you, amazing. It was so good. It was so good. At one point, I thought they lost me, but then they brought it back, and it was actually really good. And I'm telling you right now that if you like the gore and the stuff, it's good. The Wretched, surprisingly awesome. Really good movie. I would start there. I watched this movie, and actually I watched this movie on a night that I was like, oh my God, I was watching too many horror movies. I'm like, I need something light. I need something, just a bit lighter. And then this popped up as like something I should watch, of course, because of my watch history. And I watched it, and yeah, it was awesome. I would say it's definitely worth watching, especially right now for the Halloween weekend. And then there is Together. I watched this movie twice within the 24 hours that I rented it on Prime Video. is pretty good. I would say that it is Dave Franco's best role yet. However, I don't want to promote too much of the movie because there is quite a scandal going on with that movie. If you want me to talk about that, let me know, because I would love to do a deep dive if that's something that interests you, because there is quite a scandal going on with that movie right now. However, I watched it and it was pretty epic. Okay, so man, it is what it is. But those are 3 movies that you could be watching right now just to get in the Halloween spirit. Clowns in the Cornfield, The Wretched, and Together. And I just want to say I am aware that Isn't Real has broken the ceasefire deal that was in place. Shocker. Who would have thought? Really? Benjamin Netanyahu, in my opinion, is an absolute monster, a sociopath that needs to be stopped by any means necessary. My heart goes out to the women and the children and the men of Palestine and to Gaza. I think it's unbelievable, the images that keep coming out. I think within the last 48 hours, over 100 it's heartbreaking, and it just won't stop. And I hope one day it does, and I hope that all of the country leaders can come together and see the absolute devastation that is occurring, and how this is going to cause dangers and effects to the generations and the generations after them. All children are children. All women are our sisters, our mothers. And I just really want the world to wake up. So you are in my thoughts and my prayers. And even though I don't talk about it every day on this channel, I want you to know that what's happening isn't right. The world is watching. And to every single world leader out there, if by any chance you would ever see this video, please do something. Stop funding this. Stop with your sanctions and your this and your that and your that. Put an end to what is happening. It's absolutely monstrous. It's disgusting. And we should not be seeing these images every single day. Again, I hope one day the people of Palestine are free. And yeah, just know that I'm trying. And I hope that anybody with a platform who can speaks on this. And it seems like every time the world isn't watching, Isn't Real does something and gets away with it, because we are so easily distracted, me as well. But I see it, and I stand with you. And I also want to send prayers to anyone in Jamaica. I was there in almost a year ago, December last year, in beautiful Montego Bay. And it's devastating what's happening there, and stay strong, and this too shall pass. And yeah, and that's pretty much it for me, guys. And the reason why I don't talk about Isn't Real so much and every single day, obviously it's very heavy for me, but YouTube will strike your account, and it won't push out your content, and you can lose your entire account and become demonetized. And this is really the only thing I have right now. So, it's a tightrope and a fine line. But even that, I feel like, is such censorship to us. Why are we seeing these images everywhere, but then we're not allowed to speak on them because you silence us? Is, I think, another way to, I don't know, keep us in control maybe, or to hide the truth. I don't know. But anyway, that's why. But if there's any confusion on where I stand with anything, I've written a list of what is just in my heart. So this is the list, y'all. I wrote this on October 23rd. So 7 days ago, exactly a week ago. This is where I'm at. Release the Epstein files. Free Luigi Mangione. Justice for Justin. No to dictatorships. Cheering for the brave ones who successfully pulled off the heist in 2025. Free Palestine. If there's any billionaires, no person should live in poverty. Fuck Benjamin Netanyahu. Stop all wars. Charlie Kirk's shooting was an assassination and was fully set up by, I believe, Candace Owens is right on everything. Protect Candace Owens. Free the people of Sudan, Congo, Gaza, Ukraine, and everywhere else where your greed and your thirst for power and resources have no limits to the brutality that you are causing to all of our brothers and sisters. And fuck Donald Trump. And I'm sure I missed some. Like, also on my mind right now is the expectation of privacy, and how at any minor inconvenience right now, people are just pulling out their phones and recording people in their homes, recording people where they have an expectation of privacy. And at any turn, I mean, they're just pulling out their phones and recording every single transaction ever that's happening, like any minor convenience, which obviously pulling out your phone and shoving it in someone's face just because you don't like that they said something to you or did something to you or whatever is absolutely ludicrous. How are you going to get through your entire life without having any kind of minor altercation? But also just like expectation of privacy. Okay, don't be so quick to just start recording strangers and people in private and public areas. Nothing grosses me out more. So that's something that's on my mind too, because y'all, is everyone just looking to be a victim and post their little situation online? I don't know, but it's getting out of control. AI needs to be stopped, and there needs to be regulations on airfare, Uber, food, and rent control. That's it for me today. I love you so much, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.